All right, y'all. So now let's get into this next story and let's talk about Tyler Perry, or as I like to call him, Pastor Perry, or Pastor Purr, because his accuser, Derek Dixon, sat down with Lindsay Davis over at ABC News to discuss all these allegations that he's come forth against, Pastor Purr. So, the clip I'm going to show y'all is going to be about, I believe, 4.5 minutes long. So we could just sit and wait. Hold on, let me change up the audio a little bit so that way it don't get flat. But I'm like, wait a minute, if y'all ain't flag other people ish, y'all not gonna come up in here and the playback speed. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so I'm gonna play this clip from y'all. Shout out to Glock Topics for getting it over on the Twitter. I was thinking about showing y'all some of the clips from like Instagram, whatever, but I was like, whatever, child. I want to give y'all the full on meat and potatoes. But if you want to see the full interview, which I believe is about 11.5 minutes, y'all can go over to it's all over YouTube. Like they have the whole episode up there, the whole segment, and I watched it before I came and did this show. So, damn, they talking about Charlie Kirk killed, political violence must end. Let me stop reading all this other stuff. So yeah, that's the big thing. Um, anyway, so we're gonna play this clip. Hold on, let me get it up. Get her up, yeah. And we'll talk, and I'll give you all a bit, and we'll talk when we come back. Please hold.
Can you explain that first alleged incident?
Yes, we were over his house. We're having some drinks in his guest house, and it was late at night, and he has a guest quarters, and said that you can sleep there instead of not driving. And his house is far from Atlanta and where I was living, and I got into bed, and then I noticed that he climbed in bed with me as well, and started rubbing my leg, and I jumped up out of bed, and he has said, turn around so I can look at you, and just commented on how I looked, and then he got up and left. So I thought after that instance, it was pretty clear that I was not interested in that type of a relationship. It was very, very strange. I mean, I think it's okay that people try to make a move or shoot their shot, but if they get rejected, I think that they should stop. And so I thought it would stop after that, and it didn't.
At the end of the second season, Dale gets shot in the chest 4 times. Why was that especially concerning for you?
What it meant to me was if I don't make him happy, I could stay dead on the show.
And the complaint specifically says, and I just want to quote it, Mr. Perry made it clear to Mr. Dixon that he would kill off Mr. Dixon's character if he did not indulge Mr. Perry's sexual harassment. Was that message clear to you?
For me, that was his way of showing his power over us and our careers, and that he doesn't have a problem with just killing one of us off.
You're also a screenwriter and had written a TV series called Losing It. Tell us about that.
He ended up wanting to read it, and I at first was like too embarrassed to even send to him, but he did, and he said he loved it and wanted to shoot the pilot for it.
All right, let's go to June of 2021, another alleged incident that you outline in your lawsuit where you're again at Tyler Perry's home in Atlanta, and it ends up with you locking yourself in a bathroom.
Mm-hmm. We started out having drinks in the living room like we have done before, and it got to a point in the night where we were both kind of feeling drunk, and I remember we were walking back to the guest area where I've stayed before, and there was this health monitor scale on the way. And I was like, what is that? And he said, well, you have to be in your underwear to measure, whatever. So you should do it. He reached down and pulled my underwear down and grabbed my ass. And I, tried to stop him and pull back my underwear up. And he kind of grabbed my arms and said, no, it's okay. Just go with it. And I said, stop. I don't want to be naked. I don't want this. And he was just like, no, I'm not going to hurt you. And just continued. And in that moment, unless someone's been through something where they have their control over their bodies taken away, you don't really understand the kind of feelings that you get in that moment. It was almost like every thought came through my head: to run, to fight, to freeze. I didn't know what to do.
He says he de-escalated and distracted Perry and eventually locked himself alone in the guest house bathroom.
The day after that, he called several times, and I ended up getting afraid of what was going on the other side. So I picked up. And that's when he said, he was sorry for what happened. He doesn't know why he did that, and that maybe he was self-sabotaging or something. And in the same call, he said, and don't worry, we're going to do your show.
In the lawsuit, you describe this as a calculated pursuit of you by Tyler Perry. There are also several times where he says to you, you have to make your no stronger. Mm-hmm. How did you respond to this, as it's described, calculated pursuit of you by Tyler Perry?
to me, that's just so insulting. And I reiterated, you know, I said stop. You know, I said it. I don't think that people ever get past something like that happening to them.
Dixon tells us he last spoke to Perry in the spring of 2024 and left the show in September of that year.
What ultimately became of your pilot losing it?
Yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. He still owns the rights to it. So I can't now go and sell it.
Can you?
So back. Okay, we back, daughter. Yeah, so Derek Dixon told his story. Now, do I believe some of the stuff that he's saying in the situation? I do, but also I don't think he's innocent in the whole situation either. So of course I got to break everything on down. Like, look, once upon a time, not long ago, there was somebody by the name of Christian Keys that came out and said something very similar to what Derek Dixon is applying here in this video. Because if I'm not mistaken, All the Queen's Men was a story a show that was created by Christian Keys. I believe he sold it to um Tyler and all this other stuff, and Christian did go on his Instagram, which I think he took those videos down because he got paid allegedly. But I'm saying allegedly for the legal situation. Chad, you got paid, but I do feel like, okay, so when he went on the whole video situation and told his side of the story and everything that what had happened, he basically made it seem like, wait, I did not want to do that. Um, he made it seem like basically that, oh, there was somebody that was there that was sexually harassing him. That he said that when he was drunk and he was over at the person's house, he didn't mention who the person was, but we all kind of put two and two together and figured out who the hell, which Butch Queen he was talking about. And we all we rubbed our little situation together and it came up conclusive to this man over here on the left that he was the one that was probably the one that molested, allegedly, Christian Keys. He said he grabbed him by the ding-a-ling and he told him to stop and had, I guess, like, he tried to get in the bed with him and all this other stuff and was telling all these stories, wouldn't tell us who it was. But like I said, we figured out who it was, or we speculated who it was. And now we have somebody else coming out and they're saying this. One of the things I don't like about this whole story is that people run around, oh, we're not going to take another black man now. I don't give a fuck about all of that. Well, a black man who's in a powerful position and we're not taking somebody down. Abuse is abuse and wrong is wrong. And to me, when you're out here spewing all kinds of, you're making your money off the backs of black pain, which I don't approve of, that the only way that you could be successful is that we got to be slaves. Women got to be coming from an abusive situation. And y'all eat this shit up all the time. So if y'all want to eat that up, go ahead and eat it. But me, I feel like there's more value that comes with us as people of color besides it having to be trauma porn for the people like him to make billions of dollars off of. And that's what he's done. Also, he is non-union. He's not all for trying to pay people they rightful amount of money. So that's another reason why I don't rock with Tyler Perry and a lot of what he does. But Taraji Nolan said, he gave me so much money. Oh, he paid me so much. Yeah, because he don't pay them motherfuckers over there. That's how you was able to get your salary. So of course you're gonna be happy with your salary because he had to rob Peter to pay your ass because he don't like paying people. You think billionaires make their money? They hoard it. They don't share it. And it ain't just him. It's all these oligarchs. I don't know why you would be surprised. He also revealed why he put that amount on the thing. Let me see how much was it. Oh, the $260 million. Because I was like, sis, now you reaching. Like, you really trying to go over the 260. He said the reason why he chose that is because of the amount of work that he's had to lose in this situation. And I believe how him and Tyler met was the fact that he was a cater waiter at this event. And apparently the person who is in charge of the cater waitering company, the word on the street, according to the court documents that he has filed against Tyler, may have groomed him to get caught up in this situation where Tyler in purposely or intentionally they had to kind of cross each other's path, and where Tyler confronted him was like, well, what do what are your dreams and aspirations? Because that's what something that he said in the interview, that he talked to them, they were having conversations. What are your dreams and aspirations? Are you an actor? Da 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 da. Because a lot of times people who do cater waiter jobs, waitresses, bartenders, like if you do that type of job, then you're also an actor or you're a singer or you work in the arts. And so they formed a friendship in that way. Then we saw the text messages, which I think I can find. Hold up. Because, yeah, there was some. because I kept the thread open, child. So there was the text messages. Let me see if I can get that. Where beep 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 beep. I don't know if we can read it, but yeah, it was on the Twitter when basically it was saying like, I can call you later or tomorrow sometime. And it says, you have a really fresh voice and take on things. I don't know where this is going, but I laughed the entire time. I can see the world and the characters. My exclusivity ends in 30 days. I want to take losing it out to Amazon and Netflix, but that I think this is regarding about the project that he was trying to sell to Tyler. So he probably saw it as an opportunity to, I'm gonna come over here and I'm hooking up with one of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. He's valuing my work. He's talented, all this other stuff. But then he went on and said that he ain't know Tyler was a homosexual. Now, girl, first of all, we know you was a big old queen. How you can't look at Tyler and get Butch Queen tease? We all know we've been clocked his soul. He ain't want to come out and say it. And I'm not trying to push nobody out the closet. I'm not trying to shove you out the closet. I'm not trying to usher you out the closet. But we're not going to sit up here and try to act obtuse like you didn't kind of sense it. So it's there. So in this whole situation, um, I kind of feel that both parties are guilty in a way. So, and two things can be true at the same time. So I don't know why people would try to act like that. Wait, I don't know why he was doing that. It's probably because I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. Um, yeah, two things can be true at the same time. Where Tyler was definitely using his position to get some from Derek. Because when he did mention something about a car, and I think Christian Keys mentioned something similar about a car situation and how Tyler was buying him gifts and all this other mess. Derek was like, oh, he didn't like his car, so he went and bought him one. And if you're gonna buy somebody a car, you're gonna do all these things, there's gonna be some strings attached. And he's talking about how he pulled his pants down and grabbed his butt and told him go with it and all these other things. I do feel like when you look at these people like a Tyler Perry and so many others, these are sexually repressed men who are so caught up in being indoctrinated by their religious belief, because he is a God-fearing Christian. He is so deep in that whole world, and then you're wrestling with these homosexual tendencies that you don't know how to deal with them. So um you're trying to present yourself as this thing on the outside, but on the inside, like I've had my aunts and stuff say that they can see it in him. So you're really not fooling people. The funny thing is, the type of people that you base your projects on, they'll look the other way as long as you tap dance them and you give them a good show. But you still a faggot in their eyes, whatever. And another thing, can we talk about that bulldagger looking bitch, Jess He Not Hilarious, who always feels the need to want to go in on T.S. Madison. I'm glad she ate her ass up again, because it's like, bitch, leave my name out your mouth. But how this dummy didn't even know that, because Tyler Perry apparently had said something in the text where he was mad that Derek didn't acknowledge him and say something about, oh, this stud or whatever the case is. And he was like, stud and whatever. He was like, yeah, this stud in the picture or whatever the case is. I guess Tyler Perry looking and seeing like he's a stud. When no shade, Tyler, but I can't. I like you. I cannot imagine rolling over in the bed and seeing Medea like staring back at me. It's like you sit up here saying stud. Child, that's like calling Jay-Z a stud. But if you like it, I love it. Um, but in this situation, she didn't know that men were referred to as studs. I'm like, so this bitch actually thinks the whole time that lesbians are considered studs? No, that's what we call them now. They was always called different things. We used to call them AGs back in the day. We used to call them all kinds of stuff. Now lesbians go by stud, or they've been going by for a long time. But I know like most lesbians that I know, like the masculine presenting ones, do go by stud. Now, if this stud looking bitch actually thought that only lesbians get, like, what are you implying? Or are you trying to be funny, but you not funny? Because I don't think she's funny, which is why I call her Jess He Not Hilarious. Or we're trying to jump into something and throw a homophobic dagger, but then did a whole interview the other day sitting up in Carlos King face a couple of months ago, trying to play the victim because the gay community was eating your ass up because you traded with us. And you thought you could sit up in here and say that mess and we were just going to let it rock. No, bitch, you picked the right one. Zuh. So to wrap all of this up, because I know it's like I went on a whole Jesse now Larry tangent, but it kind of felt it kind of worked within the situation. Yeah, she had to get the damn stray, that same stray that Charlie Kirk got earlier. So in the neck. So but I also think with everything that was going on with Tyler using his position of power, to get something from Derek. I also think that Derek saw opportunity, played the long game, and entertained and encouraged Tyler's advances for the ultimate payout. And so no one is innocent in this situation. But if I'm not gonna be able to work because I'm gonna get blacklisted because of what you've done to me, and if you don't believe that Tyler Perry doesn't have the ability to blackball people from the industry, go have a conversation with Monique because she stays with her foot on his thick ass neck when it comes to this whole situation about how he moves in this industry. He may not have the power to get you to do his whatever, but he knows Oprah. Oprah knows other people. So you don't think that he could make a call or she could make a call and have Will Packer and all these other people not fuck with you because they could say, oh, so and so is difficult to work with when y'all are the problematic ones. Y'all the ones that could have pulled up that money for the whole pressure situation because I'm not digging in my goddamn pocket to do no press at the Venice Film Festival if I'm not getting paid. You know how expensive Italy is? So you can suck my entire dick from the back with that mess because that's not happening. So at the end of the day, I feel like if you're gonna fall for the foolishness, especially when you aren't brave enough to live in your truth, pay me for my pain. Because at the end of the day, Derek is not gonna be able to get another job in the industry. He's done. Because the blackmail, the blackballing, all of that stuff is happening. And you don't think there's other people? And he also said this, which I'm like, maybe you can side eye all you want, but if he's actually truly like, because he did say something or another that, oh, well, I'm doing it so it doesn't happen to another person. So it's like, if I settle behind the scenes, if I kept it quiet and I'm just like, okay, look, I got money. I mean, you did what you did to me, like Christian Keys went on social media through subs and got a payout. And you see, you ain't heard him mention the videos, I mean, the situation ever again. He got his pay, allegedly, because that's the only reason why I was shut the hell up. He ain't go to police and he pulled down them videos. So Tyler Perry knew that he was the perpetrator of the situation and want to keep you keep his secret in the dark. Then that's what you do. And now Derek has come out and said this, but he's like, I'm not going to keep silent about it because, yeah, I want to get compensated, but I still want my payday. Pay me for my pain because like I said, he's not going to be able to work. He ain't going to be able to get another gig in this industry. You've had this person ruin your career because he ain't comfortable enough in his skin to come out and be the arrogant that he was born to be. But because you cut to your religion and worrying about what these other people out here is saying and how it's going to mess up your bottom line, you rather ruin other people's lives instead of living in your truth. But I always say this since we want to talk Bible verses in church and all these other things. Maybe I'll use this quote against your black ass. Everything that stays in the dark eventually comes to the light. So you can do all the shenanigans and the buffoonery and all this other mess that you want, but eventually it's gonna come. You may not pay on the front end, you may not pay on the back end, but eventually you're gonna end up paying for the way you treat people and the things that you've done, allegedly. So I say all this to say, what do you think of this story regarding Pastor Perry out here allegedly dealing with his male co-stars? Because there was also a story, and I believe that Christian Keys mentioned this, that there be men out here that, yeah, they will touch their ankles, and allegedly this person that he would not mention keeps a certain harem of men on retainer, and yeah, they bend over and touch their toes for a little, while this person having himself a good time, not for a long time, and while you making him feel alive, they get a little payout and they go about their business. But Christian said he wasn't the one or the two. He wasn't touching his ankles to in order to get whatever. he was going to do it with them threats he did on Instagram, and apparently it worked. So I will definitely be keeping this story abreast of as it develops, because I'm sure it's not going anywhere. This man told his side of the story. Tyler Perry hasn't said anything, and we already know this story ain't going nowhere no time soon. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.